Welcome to the Gene Key of the day.
Welcome.
We're in the 11th Gene Key, and as we were preparing and doing some initial takes, we just kind of hit some really awesome roadblocks that were just great material, and decided to sort of like throw out whatever we were doing and just kind of ask each other questions. So, yeah.
So we're in the 11th key. We were obscured. We couldn't see each other. We couldn't see ourselves. So we thought to just sit down, have a conversation about first of all, what's obscurity? How does that live?
Yeah, this is one of the most clear shadows to me, and it's funny to say clear. Clear obscuration, because it's all about the lenses of my reality. And now that I look at my glasses, they're just covered in prints, and fuzz, and they're grimy. So it's like, how grimy are my lenses? To me is, if they're grimy, if they're filtering reality in some way that's not true, that feels like obscurity to me. How do you experience obscurity?
Well, it's my radiance. So we read it the other day, and I realized I've been working on this really powerfully for months, and I could see all these different ways that it was coming up. And one of the most obvious ways is the mind chatter, the fascist regime, as Richard writes about it, that just dominates our experience. And it's like, it was just here. It was like, oh, blah, 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 oh, what are they thinking? Oh, da, da, da. And it's this misperception of the right brain images that are being translated by the left brain, I would say mistranslated, and creating this illusion, this tunnel vision, the obscurity. So much is obscured because this is really all we can see when we're in the shadow. Or a blurred lens, and it's just fuzzy, blurry. And we're doing our best, usually fighting and defending against the world and our loved ones to try to keep, away. I don't know.
Uphold the regime.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like this is, at the shadow here, it's like the mechanics of the ego. It's almost like how the ego actually works and manipulates light to create the pictures it wants to see, and then it translates that into meaning and just totally warps our reality. And there's a gift. There's a shadow. No. There's a gift in every shadow.
There's
a shadow in every gift. I think we'll turn that one around. The gift of idealism. So how does idealism live in you, or how do you see it arising out of obscurity?
It's kind of like you relax your mind, but you also use your mind to explore what are your ideals. I've really gone through this process of exploring what is it that I value. What are my ideals, so I can notice when I'm in the shadow, relax the tension, and then really move towards, with a sense of idealism, towards what I want. What is the gift in the shadow? Right. I want to be here with you. I want us to be sharing our gifts together. I didn't want to go in the other room and give up.
I know, it was painful. I'm so glad you are here, and I'm glad that you voiced that ideal and that is one of your values. And just really want to support you and support myself to feeling that sense of alignment and resonating with the ideals, and then allowing all the light to then pass through. Because I think that's, for me, what rising out of obscurity is loosening, like you said, loosening the mind and relaxing enough to stop identifying so much with everything and personalizing it, to where then when light is passing through me in all these various modes and ways, that I can embody different archetypes, and I can live out these different aspects of life, that just want to flow. And that's what I feel. Idealism also carries this amazing play of the archetypes, and we've been really talking about that a lot lately, of our image and like how we show up, and like what are the clothes we wear, like what are the, Theo chopped his hair off. And so like, now how am I perceived? And like at the shadow, we really don't see ourselves very clearly. But at the gift, we're so relaxed and allowing all the archetypes that we can sort of try on different things and play them out and not be so attached to what that is. Which I wanted to give an example is that I was at a store the other day, and we were looking through at a used gear place, Next Adventure in Portland. And I saw this jacket on the kids' shelf, and I picked it up and was like, oh my god. And I tried it on, I was so excited. I was like, oh my god, look at it fits.
She came over and showed me, and she was glowing.
Yeah. Hey, psst. Out of there.
Come here, kitty.
Anyway, I was super excited, and then all of a sudden, all these thoughts entered my head of like, oh, but it's so childish, and it's to this and it's to that. Well, you know what? I got the jacket. Check this out, guys. This is the cosmos, man. Who could ever say no to this? And so, like, maybe I do look like a young, like, wild kid. I don't know. Maybe it does bring out my childlike self. But Theo was like, but what is that? How does that feel? And I'm like, well, it feels fun.
Without the judgment. As soon as the judgment comes in, it's not very fun to be childlike. And so all of a sudden you're childish and you're being judged by other adults, and you should grow up, and all these stories.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that I've been learning recently, is these images that are in the right brain. We have images that we project onto other people as to how they see us. So we're always walking down the street. It's like, oh, this person sees me this way. Oh, you're seeing me this way. Yeah. They're seeing me this way. And who knows if they're real? And even if they are we going to let that determine who we are?
Because right before this video, I was sitting here doing the transmission as I usually do it, and Theo was sitting back behind the camera, and I was perceiving that he was judging me by what I was saying, and really it was my own judgment projected onto him, because he had a completely different experience of thinking I was doing a great job. So that's a really good key.
So just be with that this week. Like, when you're in communication with someone, or you're passing someone, just notice the way the mind unconsciously, instantly projects an image. It's like a double mirror, like an image of how that person's seeing you. Mm-hmm. And if they're close to you, you could maybe even get into it and say, oh, I was just having this idea that you were seeing me this way. Is that true? And that's one way we can begin to clear the obscurity. Mm-hmm. Shine more light. Bring awareness to it. Speak to it. Inquire about it. Sit with it.
Because as we bring awareness to this, we bring more light. And the city of light here is just ultimate experience of the true nature of reality, with no good or bad, no right and wrong, just pure awareness and light. And the more we can sustain higher frequencies of light coming into our bodies through the myriad colors and characters and presence, we really are changing the very genetic nature of our, makeup. So I thought we would end with a quote by Rainer Maria Rilke, one of Richard Rudd's favorite poets. Do you want to read it?
You read it.
Okay. You must give birth to your images. They are the future waiting to be born. Fear not the strangeness you feel. The future must enter you long before it happens. Just wait for the birth, for the hour of new clarity. So here's to a week of clarity and light.
Hear, hear.